engage with Rainie Tang.
Thanks,
Thank
Phil.
you. Hey, Rainie, are you ready?
Yeah.
Nice to
Um,
see you. Where are you, Rainie? Where are you living?
I'm based in Auckland, New Zealand, and it's
Oh,
currently 4 a.m.
okay.
And we
Well, you
made
look
you go
very
back.
you look very bright and on top of your game. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm absolutely honored to be one of the finalists in today's competition. Um, I do have a bit of a sore throat, so I'll speak as clearly as I can, but I'm truly excited to share my speech with all of you. So, what if your home disappeared overnight? For many living in Pacific Islands, this is reality. Hi, I'm Rainie Tang, and as a 16-year-old New Zealander, I feel deeply connected to this crisis, knowing that my nation may soon become a refuge for those displaced by climate change. But this issue reaches far beyond New Zealand. It is a global emergency demanding immediate action. According to the Internal Displacement Monitoring Center, in 2020 alone, climate disasters displaced 32 million people, around 60,000 per day. In Pacific nations like Tuvalu and Kiribati, 1 in 10 people have already migrated due to worsening conditions. But it's not just the Pacific. In Asia, severe floods displaced 4 million Bangladeshis in 2020. In the Americas, Louisiana's Isle de Jean Charles lost 98% of its land since 1955, forcing relocation. In Europe, even the Netherlands faces sea level rise, with experts warning their defenses may not hold. So how can artificial intelligence help? AI offers real scalable tools for tackling climate displacement. First, there are early warning systems where AI predicts disasters before they strike, giving people the time to evacuate. In 2023, Google AI helped India triple warning flood accuracy, saving thousands of lives. Second, resource allocation. The World Food Programme uses AI to distribute aid efficiently, ensuring food, water, and shelter reach those in need. Third, real-time monitoring. AI tracks environmental changes and migration using satellite data. The International Organization of Migration and Microsoft have led global AI projects to map and respond to displacement. But sometimes relocation is the only safest option. And this is known as managed retreat. It's controversial, but it saves lives. In Fiji, entire villages have moved inland. And in New Zealand, the town of Matata was voluntarily abandoned after repeated floods. AI can guide these relocations by identifying high-risk zones early. New Zealand have long supported its Pacific neighbors, but climate displacement is no longer distant. It's here. With international collaboration, we can build scalable, data-driven solutions. United Nations High Commissioner Filippo Grandi warns, climate change will become the greatest driver of displacement, and we are not ready. We must be ready. AI gives us the power to predict, prepare, and protect. We must use this tool, and we must act now. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. If that's the energy you bring at 4 a.m., what you could do at 9 a.m. Well done. Thank you so much. And you know, you raised those serious life and death issues, and we've also highlighted an area where we don't hear very much about here in North America, where we're based. Right. Vicky Raman,
Hi,
would you
Rainey.
like
I
to?
mean, brilliant presentation. Of course, now I want to do something right away. And my question actually ties right to that. So you pointed out a few examples from different parts of the world. So how can you bring those together? So my question is, why do I care about something that's happening in Fiji or New Zealand, and how AI is going to help solve that? How can you bring us all together for collective innovation? Like, how can AI support that, or how can we be sustainable together for a future together?
Thank you so much, Professor Rahman, for your interesting question. I just want to rephrase the question to make sure that I understand it completely. So, are you asking that even if the issue is not currently impacting you in terms of your geographic position, you should still care about it? How can I encourage people to care about something
That's
outside of
absolutely right.
their area?
Yes, that's
Is
absolutely.
that what you mean?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm, So, like as I explained before, since I used examples from New Zealand, and Fiji in Pacific regions, which are quite far away from, for example, Canada, Europe, and other countries, other continents, I also believe that everything sustainability is absolutely interconnected because we we are all humans. We live in Earth. We live in the same planet. So even if something is happening all the way back in the bottom of the globe, such as New Zealand, one day it will just impact you as much as it impacts me right now. So I believe that it is absolutely important that we recognize the issue and take action immediately, even if you're so far away, because climate change and displacement does not wait for you. It can happen anytime, and rising sea levels does not impact just the Antarctica North Pole or just the bottom regions. It will continue to rise, and you will not know when it happens to you. So it is really important for you to be absolutely mindful and just know the importance of how everything in the world is interconnected and how we should be together as a global citizen. We should all take accountability and responsibility to our actions and protect people all around the world so that we can not only protect ourselves but protect other people as well.
Thank you, Rainey.
Mhm. Thank you, Rainie. Caring
Yeah.
for each other is something you've really highlighted, and I think it's important. Jim, this would be your last opportunity with us to ask a question. I know you're pressed for time.
Yes, well, listen, Rainey, um, thank you for that. Thank you for joining this. Um, I hope you'll come to Toronto. We can see you here. Even if you can't, you came here this morning. You came here today, and I think you came to everyone here on the panel, all of the fellow students, all of the judges. You were able to make an impact on us, and I think it's clear that your voice is one that's not going to be silenced. You bring Greta Thunberg to mind, who is somebody who showed up 2015, 16, those years in the before the pandemic, and really moved the needle, of awareness, and showed up on the floor of the United Nations, right? So these voices are not small, and yours has been really great to hear today. Um, so thank you for that. Let's go to my question. I mean, I think you're very brave in imagining the need to receive people who are dispossessed of their homes, and that you would sort of volunteer your own country as one who would potentially be willing to do this. A lot of countries and a lot of people would feel like, I hope they don't come, here, right? And um, Canada, for example, we only have 40 million people here. We have room for another bunch of millions, right? How's that going to happen, right? How's that going to happen? And I think you just building on Professor Rahman's question. I think that our two questions really complement one another. What I have to ask you, I mean, I want to acknowledge, the true stress and urgency of climate-induced migration that you mentioned. But I wanna think on the other side of that and decouple that one from the potential sustainable solutions, right? Your presentation describes, how AI can predict floods and inform, aid allocation of aid. But now I want to instead ask you, to imagine, 50,000 New Zealanders. So New Zealanders. Where was Old Zealand? But probably Holland, right? I want to imagine 50,000 New Zealanders. That's probably a pretty big number. Maybe more than that, but they managed to relocate there under what you could call managed retreat, which I thought was an interesting comment. And I think it's amazing that your country and hopefully ours would receive these people. The question is, how could AI help in that context to receive, integrate, support, nurture the flourishing of displaced peoples so that they don't become, you know, refugees who are second-class citizens who have a hard time finding jobs that are increasingly taken by robots and, feeling like they're on somebody else's home. What's a role for AI to allow this to move toward a truly sustainable future for all of us?
Thank you so much for the question, Professor Slaughter. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding it completely. So, are you asking how would AI, for example, be sustainable long term for migration policies?
Where's AI going to show up in that solution for these 50,000 newcomers who arrive in New Zealand? How is AI, AI helped their managed retreat. Now, how can it help them manage forward into sustainable flourishing? What are some of the ways you think AI might help society in general to kind of build better solutions for all these migrating peoples?
Oh, okay. I absolutely understand the question. Thank you. So, as I mentioned in my speech before, AI can not only help with managed retreat, and I just want to build on my two other points along with early warning systems. So, my first point is about resource allocation, and my second point is about real-time monitoring. So, understand that after after you, for example, after you migrated and you get displaced and you move to a completely new country, everything is new and it could be hard to adapt. That's why we should utilize AI as a tool and we should use it for resource allocation. And like I said before, the World Food Program has already used AI to distribute aid. For example, distributing food, water, and shelter for those people who are needed. AI is a tool that is great for organization and statistics. And this is what we needed the most to understand what the displaced people need the most. So we can efficiently allocate the resources for them using the data, for example, how much people is impacted, how severe it is, and how much and resulting in how much resources we need. And second, like I said before, real-time monitoring after after the people is being displaced, we cannot just leave them alone because that's not how it's gonna work, is it? We have to be absolutely mindful of their living, like how they're gonna sustain over long periods of time and how they're not gonna get impacted even though they're being displaced. And that's when real-time monitoring comes in. For example, AI will use the satellite data. So like it sees the things that us human will not be able to see, and use if it's able to use satellite to combine the data together along with the resource allocation, it can help people understand, it can help the government and the citizens understand the people who are displaced, their needs, and how we can help them to adapt to their new environment and to live, for example, normal lives, I would say, where they can get a job, they can be like adapted to their new environment, they can have a safe family, their safe shelter, like etc. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rainie. I hope you can stay awake